letting go of comparing, and instead nurturing self-compassion. Comparing. We all do it, right? We all compare, Look at what they have. I want that. I don't have that. Or look at where they are. Or look at me compared to them. Or this, that, and the third. Whether you are making yourself greater than, ego booster, or less than, it's comparing. And comparing can be a thief of your joy. Trust me, I know. And that's exactly what we're getting into today. Before we get into that, thank you so much for tuning in to Transform Perspective. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. The goal is still 1K subscribers. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop in the description below. My journal guided mind is not only physical, but it's also digital now. So if you're interested in a guided journal for self-reflection, definitely check out my Etsy shop. Let's get into this topic of comparing. It's played a big role in my life, and it probably has for you too. I mean, we all compare, but it can be something that is really hard to get out of, especially when it comes to like your mindset. Sometimes it can be hard to get out of the mindset of comparing, especially with the internet and social media. I don't mean to just blame social media and the internet for everything, but it has had a huge impact on us as a society in positive ways and in negative ways. Now, that doesn't mean that before, like post-technology era, there was no comparison. I mean, people have always compared. They have that saying, what is it? Keeping up with the Joneses, or comparing yourself to your neighbor. It doesn't have to be your literal neighbor, but, the people that you see, that you interact with. We've been comparing for a very long time. I think for me, especially in my experience with comparison, I've noticed that when I get on my phone and I'm scrolling or I'm looking at social media or I come across something, that's when I compare the most. That can change your mood like this. And that doesn't make it a total, negative thing. I've just become aware that having access to the internet, having access to social media, to YouTube, to Instagram, to Twitter, to Facebook, to Pinterest, to whatever it is, being able to see whatever you want pretty much whenever you want does open up doors for more comparison. You get to see what other people are doing, where they are, even if they're totally across the world. You can see what foods are popular in China right now. You can see what clothes are doing well in France or, in Canada, how they're doing with soccer or, or even in your own city, in your own state, anywhere you can see people sharing and posting many different things. And with that being said, like I said, it opens up this space for you to compare yourself, whether that is boosting your ego and, making yourself feel better than or less than in comparison to other people, where they are and what they have. It is human. It is normal to do so, but it can steal your joy and steal your peace because you are allowing yourself to ignore where you are and what you have. It is okay to compare. We do it, but sometimes it can become detrimental to our confidence and to our well-being and where we are. We can lose sight of it and get into this very weird, dark space because we lack the awareness of our own life. You're constantly looking at what somebody else has and where they are. And I think we do that a lot, especially looking down. It's always zoned out somewhere else. And 9 times out of 10, it is looking at somebody else's business, somebody else's life, and wishing you were there instead. It's okay to be inspired and to be interested in looking at other people's content and what they share and what they're doing. But I guess it's just learning to have these healthy boundaries within yourself. A boundary that says, okay, it's okay for me to watch. It's okay for me to look. It's okay for me to admire. And it's okay to have these feelings that are kind of like, jealous. It's okay. It's human. But that doesn't have to kind of control you or your life and how you feel. I think that's the boundary there. Because you don't have to beat yourself up about comparing yourself to other people and what they have and where they are. It's human, like I said, but the boundary is what you do after that. Having that awareness that, oh, okay, I'm feeling this type of way about this, whether, good or bad. Just being aware of what you're looking at, what your thoughts are, and not letting it control you, your life, and how you feel, because that jealousy can turn into animosity, or maybe it's not even jealousy. Maybe you have everything that you want and you're comparing yourself to other people as if they're less than or something, just being mindful, being demure about, comparing what you watch, what you listen to, what you're consuming and taking in, especially when it comes to social media. I know for myself, being able to look at other people and where they are in life, especially in your 20s, it's so easy to just be like, I should be doing this, and that right now, and I'm not doing any of those things. I'm in my 20s. I should have 2 kids, or I should, be on vacation, or I should have a great career, or I should have full health. Whatever it is, you have to come back to gratitude for where you are and who you are. And I think that is what helps you let go of comparing, is first acknowledging it, having the awareness to see, okay, I'm comparing, being mindful, like I said, of what you're watching and how you feel, how these things make you feel. And then from there, just being able to find gratitude for where you are. Because we can get lost in the sauce of other people's lives and what we think other people are doing and how it's going for them, and lose sight of where we are. And so I think being able to let go of comparison starts with gratitude for where you are and who you are. Like I said, it's okay to admire other people and be inspired. But once it kind of takes over in this like jealous way or in this consuming way where that's all you think about, that's all you care about is other people's lives and what they're doing, and it's causing some type of animosity in you, that's kind of when the boundaries get a little blurred. Because that, it's okay to feel that. But what you do beyond that point of just like thought and feelings, it really matters. It really matters, because you don't want to live your life trying to live somebody else's life. Your life and who you are is unique and perfect as it is. So there's no need to try to be anybody else or live anybody else's life. And so just reminding yourself of that when you're in this headspace of comparing, whether you're making yourself feel better than other people or boasting about what you have, or less than. When it comes to the ego, it goes high and low, so being grateful for where you are is something that'll allow you to kind of let go of that comparing and worrying about other people. And I will also recommend maybe putting down the phone for a little bit. Like I said, social media is great. Scrolling can be great, but it can also be excessive. And if you feel like you're just always comparing, or you're unsatisfied, or, feeling down and out about where you are, maybe it's time to put the phone down for a little bit. That doesn't mean that it's just going to magically make these feelings and experiences go away. No, you do have to address them, but it does help to put the thing that's bringing it up the most down for a little bit, so you can actually go within and be aware and, get to the root of what it is. When it comes to the phone, man, you can see so many people doing so many things, and it's awesome. But you have to also just ground and remember where you are right now. And so I think it is a great thing to take a break from the phone. I have done so in my past video where I took a week off, and I'm practicing that. But I think that will definitely help as well. Putting the technology down, the social media, the phone down, and also just having gratitude. Even if you have to write out what you're grateful for and what you have, do it. Because it will definitely help, and it'll help you find that balance and create those boundaries within yourself when it comes to comparing. You are worthy of all of those things that other people have and wherever they are, but that is their life and that is for them. And it doesn't mean that you won't achieve or have these great things or whatever you're comparing about, like whatever it is that you're comparing to or about or whomever, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person for doing those things, or you won't receive the things that you want. But you don't have to try to live somebody else's life or feel like you're being left out or behind or feel like you're ahead and everybody's less than. It doesn't have to be this egoic type of thing going on, you know? It happens, but that doesn't have to control you. And a lot of times it does. A lot of times, if we don't check in with ourselves, you know, 9 times out of 10, we'll notice that a lot of things that we do are trying to prove ourselves or trying to keep up with the Joneses or trying to, you know, be somebody else or live how we think we should live or be who we think we should be. And it all comes down to comparison. It started off with you seeing where you are, looking at where somebody else was and feeling unsatisfied, you know, and feeling like, you know, man, that's not enough. Or the opposite. You comparing yourself to somebody else and feeling better than, you know, and so living your life based off of that. And so a lot of it is not genuine and probably your highest self or truest self, but it is a part of the process. And so just having that awareness, taking time to kind of reflect on these things, because there's always a root of it. The comparing is one thing, but there's always something under the surface that's telling you something about this belief about yourself or other people or whatever it is. It's always something under the surface that you can look at when you are comparing. Why are you comparing? What are you comparing for? What do you feel like you're lacking? Or do you feel like you have enough? Do you feel like you are enough? Being able to kind of dive deep in that if you want to. Really just holding compassion is going to be the best thing to help you let go of comparison as well. Awareness first, okay? Gratitude for where you are and who you are. And then also having that self-compassion. You don't have to beat yourself up when you get caught up in comparing yourself, you know. It happens. But the more and more that you catch yourself and become more aware of you doing this over and over, you can then do different, you know. You can say, hey, okay, like I'm scrolling and I see they have this luxury mansion and I'm feeling like I'm so behind in life because they're like filthy rich and da-da-da-da. That can play on your insecurities and how you feel about yourself. And that's a you thing. I'm not saying that it's your fault and you're doing anything wrong, but it's something that you can look at within yourself, you know, and ask these questions. Why am I feeling this? Where does this come from? How can I be compassionate to myself? How can I be more gentle with myself when it comes to this, that, and the third? You don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to beat yourself up because, like I said, it's human. But whatever it is wants to be looked at, especially if it's causing any turmoil or making you feel anxious, depressed, or some type of way. It wants to be looked at by you. So you can definitely do that. A lot of times you don't have to do anything about it. You just have to accept where you are and who you are. That doesn't mean you can't have goals and achieve things and want better for yourself. You can. And the stuff that you're looking at and watching can be an inspiration for that and motivation. But when you're comparing yourself, especially in a negative way or in a way of like a lack mindset, then you get stuck and you can't really progress. Or maybe there's just a lesson in that, you know, but yes, awareness, gratitude, compassion. Those 3 things, I can't really do this, but those 3 things will help you let go of comparing. This is something I'm practicing. And I think the first thing that I started practicing when it comes to letting go of comparing is putting down my phone. I think that was the biggest thing, because if I'm not scrolling on my phone all the time, I don't even see half the stuff that's on there. I don't even know what's going on. Now you're still going to have this temptation to compare, or these beliefs. It's still there. It's not like it goes away, and it's okay that it's there, but you don't want to feed it. You don't want to feed it by just drowning in other people's lives. Just be aware of it. Okay. Be gentle with yourself, have gratitude, and have self-compassion in the midst of it. So I think a great way to start with that is writing. I have guided mind. Okay. My self-reflection guided journal that can help with that. That is something that I've been doing, is writing in my own journal, putting my phone down. And that has helped me become aware of these patterns and beliefs that I have, especially when it comes to self-comparing. It doesn't feel good to hold yourself accountable for that, and to sometimes try to change your mindset when it comes to that, or put down the phone. It doesn't always feel easy, but it's possible. So start there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this episode when it comes to comparing yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in to Transform Perspective. Check out my Etsy shop and that journal if you're interested to self-reflect, to write, and just to incorporate a healthier habit in your day-to-day life. Check it out. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it as well for anyone who you think it'll benefit or be helpful, especially if you know anybody that compares or just wants to check out the episode. Definitely share it. Comment below your experience when it comes to self-comparing, having self-compassion for yourself. Is there anything such as like habits or practices that you want to share in the comments below? I will definitely try it out. Leave it in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in to Transform Perspective. Subscribe, and remember, it is not about perfection, but committing to expansion. Have a transformed perspective.